Welcome to another episode of the PFF College Football Show. A very, very special guest that we have on right now is the coach of the highest-ranked Group of 5 team, one of the top 15 teams in college football right now, head coach of Boise State, Spencer Danielson, joining the show right now. Spencer, thanks so much for taking time out.
I've been looking forward to it. I appreciate you guys letting me on and excited to talk about our team.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I just want to say we actually interviewed Ashton Jeanty before the season, and he was telling us all of his lofty goals for the season. He's like, I want 2,500 all-purpose yards, 20 total touchdowns, and we were looking at him, it's like, okay, that'll be really cool. Like, good luck with that. He's about to hit that in next couple games, honestly, Coach, the way he's doing right now. He's obviously taken the nation by storm so far this year. Just how special of a football player and how special of a human being is Ashton Jeanty?
Yeah, guys, Ashton Jeanty is a generational talent. And, he impacts me, our team, so much every single day. Without even getting to the football part of it, Ashton Jeanty is a guy that lives in the training room, one of the first guys in the building, one of the last ones to leave. And I tell people all the time, you don't believe me, come out to practice. This guy practices his tail off. If it's fall camp, if it's week 11 of the season, whatever it is right now, week 10, he's out there, practicing like it's spring ball. That's who he is. And I love, something I think about Ashton is, he's the offensive player of the year in our conference last year, commits to stay to Boise State, even though when everybody else thought he was going to leave. That makes him different. He wanted to leave his legacy. And then in January, we start our winter workouts, which are 6 a.m. in the morning on the blue in the snow. And Ashton Jeanty is one of the first ones out there. We do a tug-of-war match, one-on-one. Frost is on him. He's got his shirt off, and he's dragging people across the blue. That's just who he is, and he's an elite teammate. The amount of conversations, I talk with Ashton all the time, and it's never about Ashton. It's about our team. It's about him, simplifying his life. And I was so blessed and honored to be able to baptize him at church in August. And so, we talk about his relationship with Jesus. We talk about his faith. We talk about, his relationship with his girlfriend. We talk about life. It's never about, well, Coach, what can you do for me? It's about the team, and it's about him continuing to grow to be the best version of himself. But Ashton Jeanty is a 10 out of 10 young man, first and foremost. Everybody can see that he's the best football player in the country, but I want to make sure everybody knows how elite of a person he is.
And, Coach, I love that backstory about him because obviously you know him better than any of us know him. We only see him on the field, and really just on the field, what amazes me so much about Ashton Jeanty is that you said he's playing like the best player in the country, which I would agree. He is absolutely one of the best players in the country. And the receiving ability that he showed so much last year has really just not been featured that much this year. So it's crazy. Maybe his best attribute is still not being shown too much, and yet he's still the best running back in the country by a mile. Just put it simply, is he one of the best players you've ever coached?
Absolutely. He's a generational talent. I believe he's the best football player in the country right now. He's the best football player I've been around, and he follows it up with what we talked about earlier is who he is as a teammate, who he is as a leader. Because obviously, I talk with a bunch of GMs and scouts about him from the NFL, and they're poking and prodded hey, man, he's obviously got to have issues off the field if he's this type of player. I'm like, he's not. He's an elite person. He's a great teammate. He was a unanimous captain, which has not happened here with an underclassman in a long time. He's only 20 years old, and just who he is as a teammate and what he is. But I agree with you. He's a matchup nightmare as a receiver. Put him in empty, have him catch the ball in the backfield, let alone what he's doing taking the ball from the quarterback. He puts defenses in conflict every single time he touches the ball, and he helps our entire team. And that's what I love about Ash. You see him in the game when Maddux throws a touchdown pass to Latrell Caples, he's the first one going to congratulate those guys. He's a big-time teammate, and our team knows that it's all of us working together to achieve these things.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I've heard a lot of comparisons for Ashton Jeanty, whether it be Alvin Kamara in today's game or even Hall of Famer like LaDainian Tomlinson. Is there a certain comparison you think fits Ashton Jeanty?
Yeah, I've been asked a lot about that. It's hard for me to speak to it because I haven't been around those players, nor really have, to be honest, taken the time to study them the way that I am with Ashton. So I'd be hard pressed to even speak to that, to be honest. I know that he's going to be a young man that not only obviously has the success he has in college, but I believe he's going to play in the NFL for a long time. And I've told NFL scouts, and I know I'm biased, I believe he's going to be a Hall of Famer. I believe that in my soul. And I know everybody probably said, because I'm a high energy, intense, positive guy all the time, so they're probably like, okay, coach is just blowing smoke, but I believe that because of how he works, how relentless he is to continue to improve, and just with what he's doing now, I believe he's going to be a guy that other people get compared to down the line, get compared to an Ashton Jeanty.
I could totally see him getting fitted for a gold jacket, honestly, hopefully way down the line. But yeah, I can see that as well. Coach, obviously, there's so many people. I think that Oregon game was so critical for him because I think so many people look at him and they try to use the excuse of, he's playing Mountain West competition or whatever. But numbers are numbers. That Oregon game, though, specifically, when he had 190 yards and 3 touchdowns, that proved that, hey, he is legitimately the best running back in college football. The Heisman Trophy race is obviously wide open right now. What is your pitch for why Ashton Jeanty should deserve the Heisman right now?
Yeah, I mean, Ashton Jeanty is the best football player in the country, and I hear that not only for Ashton but even for our team on maybe some of the teams you play. But I mean, you look at who we've played over the years, especially this year. Teams ranked in the top 25. I mean, the Oregon game, Washington State, like we played a really good schedule. And I believe the Mountain West is a very good conference. I mean, there's really good football players in this outside of what we played in our non-conference. And I tell people all the time, just watch the film. Watch the film.
Yeah.
Don't listen to somebody else telling you what you should think. If I'm a voter and I'm a Heisman voter, watch the film. Watch all the film. Watch what he does when he's not getting the ball, and he's one of our best pass protectors and will come up to the line of scrimmage and stone any linebacker that's blitzing. Like, that's my pitch. Watch the film. And I promise you, if you truly watch the film, you'll put him as the Heisman. I believe that. Watch the film. Don't let anybody else tell you what to think. Watch the film.
So, Coach, the last question I asked you, I promise, but obviously your job as a head coach, first and foremost, is to develop these players as human beings, as players, and win football games. But is there a part of you with the Barry Sanders' records really in reach for Ashton Jeanty? Is there a part of you that maybe when you're blowing these teams out in the second half thinking, well, if we get Ashton a couple more touches here, maybe we can have a shot at breaking that record? Is the whole Barry Sanders thing, is that kind of a part of the game plan, or are you not really worried about that too much?
We're not. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. It's been brought up to me. It is my job to exactly what you said, develop these young men for life. Like, I believe that. And I'm open about my faith. I believe that Jesus put me in this seat as the head coach to develop these young men to be champions in life. And I know the reality of my seat's to win football games, and my job is to protect our players. And if there's a game where, we're winning by a substantial margin or what have you, and we got to protect Ashton, we're going to protect Ashton. And it's not going to be to go get this record or what have you. We got to set our team up to go win games. It's something I've been talked about, and so I don't know as we get closer to it. What those conversations will probably increase, but right now it's making sure our team is focused on how we got to learn and grow every single day, and we'll let the rest of the chips fall where they may.
So, Coach, I want to go from your biggest star to who I think is maybe your most underrated player. That's your quarterback, Maddux Madsen, who I think has been playing outstanding so far. And really, it's a wild story because going into the year, so many people just assumed that former 5-star recruit Malachi Nelson would win that starting job. What did you see from Maddux that made you want to choose him over the guy that pretty much everyone thought would be the quarterback going into the year?
Yeah, Maddux Madsen, very similar to Ashton, is an elite competitor. And all he wants is a shot to compete. He doesn't need the media or anybody telling him how good he is or what happened prior to the season, how maybe bad he might be. Because since Maddux has been on campus, he's a Boise State football player. He's that blue collar, chip on his shoulder, maybe counted out and going to prove everybody wrong. That's Maddux Madsen. That's who he was in high school. That's how he's been since he's came here and consistently beat out quarterbacks in his time here. He won the starting job last season and then was, regrettably got hurt, but he won the starting job. Nobody thought going into the season that he would, and he did. That's Maddux Madsen. No different fast forward to this offseason. Everybody's giving their opinion on what's going to happen. And Maddux just kept working. He had a great fall camp, earned the starting job, and that's a testament to who he is, his work ethic. I mean, you see the level he's playing at now. And yes, Ashton Jeanty, yes, some of these other players, but Maddux Madsen deserves a ton of credit with how he's playing, the execution he's having. He's very smart with the football. He makes the throws we need. He makes the checks we need. And Maddux Madsen deserves a ton of credit for, 1, how he's playing, 2, how he's leading our team, and 3, just how he is as a competitor.
Absolutely. And, Coach, it sounds like you do a great job in your program of making sure your players do not listen to the outside noise. But it's hard not to see, obviously, Boise State is like the head and shoulders favorite among the group of 5 to make the college football playoff this year, obviously, if you win the Mountain West Conference. Just how focused is making that 12-team college football playoff for your team this year?
Yeah, to be honest with you guys, I don't talk about the college football playoff. I talk about how the next game is the most important game of our season because the next one, right now, we got Nevada coming to town. We know we're going to get their best and they're going to get ours because the reality of it is the rankings that come out or, the polls, those rankings do not matter right now. They'll matter at the end of the season, but the teams that worry about things down the road and lose a game and don't play well, like those things are immediately now off the table for them. That's the reality. It's not my opinion. That's the truth. So for me as a football coach, it's my job to make sure my messaging is direct with our players, that we focus on what really matters, which is our work and our process every single day to earn the right to play our best. And we got to take it 1 week at a time. And that's my focus for me, for our staff. It doesn't matter where we're ranked. It doesn't matter what people tell us. It doesn't matter even who we're playing. It matters how we work our tail off to earn the right to play our best. Because if you don't do that, and you'll see this across college football this year, and even years prior, then you see a team go out there and play, roller coaster football where 1 week they play good, 1 week they don't. And I don't want our players living on the roller coaster.
Absolutely. And, Coach, I wanted to ask you, as a head coach in today's day and age of college football, it must be so complicated trying to build a roster, obviously the transfer portal with NIL and still with recruiting as well. I loved Ashton's answer before the season of saying, hey, yeah, like maybe some other schools wanted me and would have offered me more money, but I wanted to build a legacy here. Is that kind of the mantra that your program is based off of right now? And, how much does NIL and the transfer portal go into how you try to construct your roster?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk to our team a lot about being built different. And that's a tagline of our program, but not just a tagline, it's a way of life here. Like at Boise State, we don't want to fit into the mold that college football tells you should fit in. And that could go a lot of different ways. How our guys train, I believe, is different than anywhere in the country. I mean, our guys train their tails off in the offseason. That's different. No different with the transfer portal, NIL. Like, we've got ways that, things that have put in place that I believe in, but nothing's going to be bigger than the team. Nothing's going to be bigger than development. No different when I talk to recruits is the same I talk to our team. Like, I want guys that have a chip on their shoulder, are all in with this team. Don't come play for this team because you think you might make more money here than somewhere else. Don't do that. That's why I don't use money as a means to recruit, and I don't use money with our players. Like, we're open and honest about our conversations. I believe everything in life is earned, but I want our team to focus on what matters because I tell our team, like, hopefully every single one of our players lives to their 90 or 100 years old. The reality of it is I got 4 years of their life, which is very small in regards to their life. And when used correctly, if they're focused on what matters, focused on developing every day, these 4 years can change your life positively. If you focus on the things that don't matter, focus on things that don't directly impact you becoming the best version of yourself, those 4 years can negatively impact you for a long, long time. And it's my job to make sure that doesn't happen for our players. So I'm very open about, development, that this is what this program is. And I believe there's no place in the country that will develop you for life more than here. Because that's all we focus on. I don't focus on all the other stuff. I focus on every day you come in this building, we're going to grow you to be the best version of yourself. Yes, that means playing in the NFL for some. That might mean being the best accountant for others. That's okay. But being the best that you can be in life is what we focus on here, and leaving your legacy and having an impact and focusing on what matters. And the other stuff, we walk that path because there's a lot of great opportunities here at Boise State. I mean, this is the pro team in Idaho. There's no NFL team. There's no pro baseball team. We've got so much support here for our players in the NIL collective space. But that's not why our players are here. That's not why players come here. They play here to be a part of something different.
Coach, I'm fired up right now. I'm ready to commit on the spot if you'll have me.
Let's go. We'll take you.
Coach, this is a fantastic interview. Best of luck the rest of the season.
I appreciate you guys, man. God bless. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, thanks for watching another episode of the PFF College Football Show. Please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel.
Also, subscribe to PFF Plus at subscribe.pff.com for all of the same data and grades that we use in our show, plus fantasy tools, betting tools, and our mock draft simulator.